Today, what I want to teach you is how to slowly and methodically build up to the ability to be able to drop in. So I'm a new skateboarder. I've only been skateboarding for probably about three and a half months. About 2 months ago, I learned how to drop in. Then I immediately forgot how, or I got scared. And it took me about 2 months worth of working myself back up to get to the point to where I could actually drop back in, and consistently. The first step in getting where you can drop in, oddly enough, is just being comfortable on your board, being able to skate around the park, being able to feel, completely at home with what you're doing on the board, tic-tacking around. I know that doesn't, for a lot of us that are getting started, we just want to drop in, doesn't really make a lot of sense, but it's going to help you in the long run. So I would highly suggest to getting out there, skating around either on the flat, down some slight inclines, and just kind of practicing being okay with being on the board. The next step is being able to, and I don't know exactly what this is called, but being able to actually do what I'm calling a tail stomp, which is standing on the tail of the skateboard and then leaning in and quickly stomping your foot down on the ground, just on the flat ground. Because being able to have that ability to do that without hesitation is really important, because that's the same basic movement you're going to need to be able to drop in on any quarter pipe or any bowl or anything like that. You've got to be able to stomp that foot down, and you'll hear that word 1,000 times today. The next step would be to find a small incline. This is a really good example of just a small incline that you can get started on trying to quote-unquote drop in on. Notice how I'm just simply stomping down really hard on that foot and leaning in on that left leg. Here's on a slightly bigger incline. If you've got a rail like this to hold on to, that might help. Put your foot on the tail and then stomp it down. You may want to hold on to the rail just to practice a few times and getting comfortable with the actual motion of trying to drop it. All right? Anyway, once you feel comfortable, okay, so what's next? I did a tiny incline. We did a slightly bigger incline. Let's go for yet one more, just a bigger step up. Again, slightly bigger incline. There we go. So once you've got some easier inclines, then you can move to slightly bigger inclines. This one has a bit of a run on it, so it's good to practice having your balance after you've quote-unquote dropped in and riding away. So again, after you've kind of slowly built up to the different levels, then this one's probably about a 45-degree angle. That's probably the max you want to build up to. Let's see what goes. By this point, you should be completely confident. Get up here, stop it. So after you've done this, about maybe 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 times, get where you're comfortable. Then after that, you can move into the transition hill. This is what we're kind of considering as a transition hill or a transition element. I think this is a really good element if you have one of these to be able to learn how to drop in, because you're going to have the ability to really get low on that ramp and to simulate as much as possible dropping in on an actual ramp. The first thing you're going to want to do is to get comfortable on the top, rolling down the hill. So this is on top of the transition, just getting comfortable with doing a tail stomp. Right there. That's all you want to do, is to be up here and feel comfortable with that tail stomp. All right? Once you've got that, then do it and roll away. Each time you do this, you want to make sure that you stomp it hard, lean into it. When you don't, when you kind of ease into it, that's when you're going to get hurt. So again, lean. So you want to be able to get where you can stand up top, where you can stomp on the flat, the tail stomp, and then roll down. Once you get that, that's going to help you feel comfortable with the actual hill. The next thing you want to do, you want to be able to get to where you can slowly start working. You're starting up top on, say, one try. The next try you're coming down a little further. The next try you're coming down a little further, and even further. And by coming down, I mean you start with your back wheels at that point, and you'll see as we go. And then by the time you get about here, you've almost simulated completely dropping in. So by that point, you're gonna know what to do. So when you get over there, you know what to do. So at this point, you simply start picking your lines and starting from here, start from here, start from here, and then by the time you get to about here, you're effectively dropping in without the coping. So let's go through and try a few of those. All right, and we'll start from this little red mark right here. Let's get about an inch lower down on the ramp. One thing you're also, as you're moving your foot down, is maybe take your foot and have it part on the tail and part on the ramp, so that keeps your board from just going sliding out from underneath you. So like, as I get lower, got my foot there, and another good tip is to keep your hand pointing forward, almost reaching for the front of your board. Because if you're reaching forward, you're going to be leaning forward. And when you're leaning forward, you're not going to be leaning back and having the board skating along. Here we go. Just a little bit lower. Even lower still. And then finally, little more. Again, put your foot on the back so your skateboard doesn't slide totally off. This way. By that time, you should have it. So one thing you may want to try is, as you're practicing the small transition hill, is to, when you get where you're super comfortable with being on that transition hill, is that after you do like maybe 2 or 3 that you're just, oh my gosh, it's maybe even 10 or 15 or 20 that you're totally comfortable with, immediately run over to your ramp. Don't even think about it. You know what to do. Lean in hard and stomp it and go. You've done all that. Now you're ready. If you've done each one of those steps, again, starting at just ground level, practicing doing your tail stomps, starting at the next level as far as your slight incline, and then slowly building up on the different incline levels, and then working on the transition hill, you're gonna be fine. You know what to do now. At this point, you get padded up, make sure you have a helmet, get your wrist pads, get your elbow pads, knee pads. I would say suggest that through the entire process, actually. If you're young and you've got a parent, you can have them kind of hold on to your finger, your hand, or even a buddy. I mean, it doesn't matter, you know. Get a couple buddies there to help you and sort of support you to get the feeling. Once you get the feeling, you'll be good on your own. But then it's time to rock and roll. All right, it's exam day. Time to take the test. You're ready? You're ready to do it. So let's do it. Get up, place your tail in the end. You know what to do. You put your foot up and you lean in and you go. Let's see a couple more of those. Again, once you get these, I would do this over and over and over and over until you feel 100% comfortable. Woo. Once you drop in, you don't need to ride the whole way away. Just make sure you're stable and then pop off. And then keep doing it over and over. Again, if you don't stomp it, what's going to happen is you're going to come and your weight's going to push you backwards and you're going to fall back. Whereas if you stomp it, you're going to go bam. Your foot is going to go, your board is going to get on the ramp and you're just going to ride away. I want to give a shout out to Sterlo and Mac for helping me with this video. Appreciate it. I'll leave their links in the channel. But I really hope this has helped you learn how. I do want to thank Braille Skateboarding, the Tony Hawk Skateboarding. There's tons and tons and tons of other drop-in videos that are out there, but they all have different sort of really good points. But this one, I feel, kind of captures every level and every step you need to do at micro levels to be able to understand and get the feeling as you're going to be able to learn how to drop in. Thanks.